there are three other names here, that the same thing could be happening,
Well,
happening
to a
to.
lot of
Mr.
people.
Chairman, there
Mr.
are
Stewart.
more than just those three names. There are names across the county that happened to. If the poll worker did not put their ballot in the provisional envelope.
So these are
And just
people who
dropped it
changed,
in the box.
Mr. Chairman, these are people who attempted to change their addresses at the polling site, gave the new address, but because they couldn't find the actual ballot, they didn't update the address. I would suggest that the procedure ought to be amended or shifted a little bit so that when there is an attempt by an elector to change their address at the polling site, that it actually happens whether they find the ballot or not. I mean, that's irrelevant in a certain sense. Their name is there, they've signed.
No, you.
But see, we have Mr. Rhodes that they can't.
Change the form to be a citizen.
You know what? I don't think we're going to hold on. I don't think we're going to resolve this issue today. But there's clearly some mismatch here happening, and I think that it's just another instance where I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm just saying I have a voter from my congressional district saying, Congresswoman, I voted, and in fact he did vote, and that he did vote, and he signed in the book where he said he lives. And so I'm just saying, as people come forward, we need to address the
We
issue.
agree.
That's my point.
We don't have a problem.
Okay, thank you.
He did in fact vote. I'm more concerned about these other three names here that says can't locate. For instance, Richard Lee.
I'm concerned as well. Absolutely. And I would suggest that you found three in that one book, that there are books across the country, and there are other names as well.
Check the graveyard.
Michael, is a procedure. If they do something like this, and we can't locate,
Can't locate them, they're dead.
and we have to assume that maybe they cast a regular ballot, wouldn't we still go in and change name and address?
We
Would
don't
we
have
do that?
we don't have the proper form to change their name and address. We need a birth date. There's no birth date on here. We need to make sure we choose the right person. Because I don't know where they go. When Mr. Stewart signed in this book, he didn't give us his old address. So I don't know which Mr. Stewart to pick to change his address, since there was 2 or 3.
So in 2004, this might have been a combination, because if it would have gone in a provisional envelope,
It would have had all
it would have had all the information, and we would have been able to make the correction by, we are assuming that it was deposited in the regular box out there.
Mr. Chambers, I'm confused. I thought that he gave his new address in that.
But we didn't have an old address to identify.
He did.
He gave a new address here in the book, but he didn't have an old address for us to identify.
Well,
which
that could be a
Mr.
part of
Stewart.
your amended process, to ask for the old address when they give you the new address, and that's a very simple thing
Well,
to do.
had he completed the provisional envelope like it was supposed, like the poll workers were supposed to have him do,
Yeah.
we would have had all the proper information to make
But
the
this
change.
was a poll worker error.
Yes, I'm aware that it was a poll worker error, and I
And
will just.
because it was made at the poll, there was no ability for the board to pick up the information that they needed to change that registration, because they did not have his old address. If they would have had it, if he'd have filled out the provisional ballot. So,
With all due respect, sir, due diligence is look at the current address. We have yellow pages, we have white pages. White pages serve the residents of this county. Look his name up, ask his old address.
we ought to, Leslye, we have to follow statutory requirements too. We need a little bit more information than that.
But it's
you make
not
a
his
good
fault.
point.
It wasn't his
Come
fault.
on.
No, it wasn't.
It was not, there's being clear, Leslye, it was not the voters' fault.
Benjamin's fault.
Exactly.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Sure.
And now, a certain person should eat their words about voters who say they vote.
They still, with all due respect, they still tell you that.
And they do
Statistically,
vote,
they will tell
apparently.
you that. And I'll bet you if we go out and take an independent survey of those who don't show up today to vote, you will find out that they'll tell you, oh, I did vote.
Well, I appreciate that, sir, and I think we should do something like that. And that way, we would probably find a lot more Mr. Stewarts out there who attempted to vote and were denied the process because we didn't do due diligence and go out and look for them. So maybe we should do a study like you suggest.
Thank you. Marcia McCoy. Is Marcia McCoy in the room? Marcia, I'm sorry.
No. Chairperson, may I add my name again?
You have something else to say?
Yes, sir.
We're going to move on. We all have responsibilities to get back to. So we're going to hear, we're limiting everybody to 5 minutes. Dr. Robbins took a little bit longer. Marcia, go ahead. State your name, address, please.
Okay, I can yield my time to the attorney, because mine was brief, if that's okay.
Okay.
Appreciate that. It won't take long. Attorney Leslye Huff, 1853 Page Avenue, East Cleveland. I have yet another set of electors whose names appear as active voters in the Dems, but do not appear on the poll books. And I'm not exactly sure the reason for that error, but it is an error
Oh, that's not
which,
Why don't you,
Fran, would you?
why can she go down and work with the
Yeah.
gun issue?
That's what I wanted to do. I asked him, Fran Lally, if you can go down there with Mr. DeFranco and get into the books and let's see if we can't resolve the issue.
well, we can resolve the issue. I'm only raising that one more time, Mr. Bennett, because I wanted you to know that there are some other voters that say they voted and they in fact do. And the other reason in more serious terms, if there is a glitch in the system that allows for that kind of thing to occur, I wanted you to be aware of the instances where it does occur so you can make the repairs in a systematic way.
There is no such thing as a perfect election.
Exactly true, and we're all just humans.
But I would ask
do
if you
appreciate
would
it.
go downstairs and try to resolve this matter.
I will, I've already
Thank you.
decided, thank you.
Marcia?
I'm